Lauren, all the cast members in Cinderella this year, you have the distinction of probably having had the most stage time in musicals. Do you remember how many you've been in?
I think 10 with this school.
That's quite a record. And do you remember the first musical you were ever in here on this stage?
I was in Cinderella, actually, the first time they did it here. I was about 4 years old, and I was just one of the little town girls and had maybe a couple lines, but my sister was actually playing Cinderella at the time.
Well, you have come full circle, and now you are the star of the show. So tell us a little bit about, from an actor's perspective, do you feel prepared, or I know you do, I know you feel prepared for the role, but the question is, from an actor's perspective, how has the last 10 years, or the last 10 shows, gotten you ready for a show like this?
It's definitely a lot to do with the practices and just the little things you learn along the way. Freshman year I was playing Minnie Faye, and you told me to think the thoughts. Think what they would actually be thinking, this character, what they would actually think, and put that into what you're acting. And that has stuck with me every single year. So now coming into this role, I'm thinking, what would Cinderella be thinking? What would this character at this moment be thinking? And it's helped so much. And just definitely little things like that along the way in the practices has made me feel more prepared.
So, Lauren, in preparing for the title role of Cinderella, what specifically have you had to do to prepare yourself for it? Did you do some research, or how does an actor get ready to do that?
I've watched several YouTube videos of different people performing either with a high school or on Broadway, or there's different movies that they've come out with Cinderella. So definitely watching all of those and just picking out just stuff I like that they do, or just different mannerisms and how they walk and how they portray themselves, and facial expressions and different things like that has really helped me come up with an original character for Cinderella.
Good. What do you think about the music in this show?
I really like it. It's more fun than just kind of serious and operatic music, how it is in some other musicals. It's just easier to sing with, and it's just the music is all just really fun.
What would you say is your favorite song of the ones that you sing?
Probably When You're Driving Through the Moonlight and Going Into a Lovely Night, that I sing with the stepsisters and the stepmom. It's just a really fun song, dancing around the room and dreaming about the ball and how we've been there. It's a really fun number.
Compare a sports practice, sport of your choosing, the sports practice to the rigors of rehearsing a big production number for a large-scale musical. Are they alike? Are they vastly different? How would you describe them?
They're very similar in the way in each practice we're paying specific attention to details, especially like either in volleyball or basketball. It's preparing for a specific team and what details you can adjust to compete with that team. And it's like in play practice, it can be not stressful, but like you said, rigorous sometimes to work out each detail and trying it one way and seeing if that works, trying it a different way and seeing what's comfortable and what feels natural. It can be rigorous going through those details and working those out.
You feel like in this environment, your own creativity is encouraged? Do you feel like you are able to use your own imagination very much, or not?
Definitely. We have scenes where there's a dead space, and so we're like, what can we fill with that? And you encourage us to, if we have an opinion, say it out, and we've used several of those in different scenes, and it's made it even stronger. So definitely having each person put their input in and see what they feel is natural is very helpful, and it makes for a good.
If you had it to do all over again, you had your whole high school career to do over again, especially as it related to musical theater. Would you do it again?
Definitely. It's been an amazing part of my high school career and middle school career, and it's an awesome program. Okay.
This year we're doing something a little bit different in that you're sharing the role with somebody else, and you're doing the last 3 performances of the show. Is there anything about that aspect of closing the show and being the last one on stage that is especially significant to you, especially being a senior?
It is. It's just kind of putting a good ending on our senior year, and especially just being throughout this whole entire program, you know, being in every single place since I was in 6th grade and before. It's just a really cool experience to be able to finish that and say goodbye in that way.